Almost 2 years ago now, I did a video about 3M gripping material as a wrap for my ice tools. Well, after 2 full seasons of ice climbing, it's time to talk about what I learned about that material. Hello again, everyone. I'm Jason. 24 months ago, I did a video about the potential I saw in using 3M gripping material as the wrap for my ice tools, and particularly their 400 option, which was a more durable version of various alternatives of gripping material. Well, yes, it's been 2 years and therefore 2 full seasons of ice climbing since I made that video, and I'm now ready to come around with my findings. The delay is because the story changed halfway through the test. We'll come to those findings in a minute, but first, it's been long enough that I wanted to remind people why 3M gripping material came onto my radar for ice climbing. The various 3M gripping materials are a kind of tape with shorter and softer versions of the hook side of the hook and loop materials that we have, like Velcro. Tiny fingers of material jut out from the surface. Those little fingers resist being pulled against, which creates friction. Or you can put the same material on the contacting surface, such as our gloves in this case, and then there is even more friction as the fingers interlock to some degree. I go way deeper into the specs and friction coefficients of the materials in that earlier video. There's a link in the description. Bottom line though, more friction should mean being able to use a lighter grip and therefore reduce the pump I get in my hands and forearms. So, early in that first year, I tried using the 400 on both my tools and wearing a glove with the material applied to it so as to get the maximum amount of friction. I was wearing an oversized 3M glove over an insulating glove, but I found that the extra thickness of 2 gloves required more grip pressure, thus negating any advantages I got from the added friction. Plus, having the outer glove soak through was very much a pain. So I tried the 400 with just my Showa Temrez 38202 gloves. By the way, though, another link in the description, you can find a review I did of these incredibly affordable insulated gloves. They gripped fine, but when things got really cold, I found the 400 version to be too hard. It's the hardest and most abrasion resistant of the options. Plus, the lack of give in those micro fingers meant snow and ice would tend to get clogged up between them, so the surface would get progressively more slippery. The abrasion resistance was impressive, easily surviving the entire season, but the fact that my wrapped shafts would, in effect, ice up was a non-starter. Near the close of that full season, I was ready to make a video saying that this was a failed experiment, not worth it. But then I discovered that I had a roll of the 641 rather than the 400 material that I'd been using. The 641 material is softer with less rigid fingers in the rubberized material. And the 641 material is therefore both higher in friction, the little fingers can give just a little bit more as weight drags against them, but also has less abrasion resistance. So I spent the tail end of that first season climbing with the 400 material on one tool and the 641 material on the other to do a compare and contrast. With not too many climbs left in the season, I couldn't really test the abrasion resistance of the 641 material, but I did note that it was softer and it wouldn't capture compacted snow and ice the way the 400 material did. That's what led to the 1-year delay in making this video. I decided to climb another season with the 641 material on both tools. After that full season, I can say that the material does feel especially grippy against my rubberized Showa gloves. It ices up far less than the 400 material. Its abrasion resistance is pretty good, but not outstanding. I will say that the adhesive on the back, combined with a bit of stretch in the material, makes it pretty nice to apply, and then it stays in place. I haven't had any slipping. I would characterize the 641 option as better than average when compared to many of the other options I've used for ice tool wraps over the years, while the 400 material was definitely below average. But when you compare the price of the 641 material against those same alternatives, like hockey tape, or the inner tubes of bike tires, which can often be gathered for free from bike shops that need to dispose of punctured tubes, I'm not sure the value is there. What do you wrap your ice tools with? Tell us about your preferred material in the comments. Thanks for watching this video. Please like, subscribe, and share if you want to support us. For more information, you can go to our website at www.shortguysbetaworks.com. You can watch an ice climbing video we did about the dangers of topping out ice climbs over bulging ice, or you can check out our entire ice climbing series. We'll see you next week and keep on getting more out of that big outside.